And we are live. Hello, puppies! And as always, welcome back to another episode of the Isle of Series. I seriously need to commission my brother to figure out that magic rainbow effect, or I just need to be holding glitter. I know I've said this in the past. I need to figure it out.
I want glitter.
I want glitter too. Well, because it's supposed to be like the sprinkle effect. I need to have something attached to my ceiling fan or something. That's how I should do this. So tonight, everyone, is Isle of Writing, which I'm not particularly butthurt about, even in the slightest bit. So joining us tonight, I am happy to welcome onto the show Elizabeth, your comic book fangirl.
Hey,
hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Pretty good. I'm happy to see maybe it's slightly dark out as well for you as it is for us.
Yeah, it's about 10 p.m., so it's very dark outside.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I haven't kept you past your bedtime.
No, you haven't. You're good.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you were up in Canada then.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
In the north, yeah.
So whenever somebody says that they have that they're 2 hours ahead of us, for whatever reason, my brain always instinctively thinks of Florida. I don't know if that's just because that's the only other state I've ever been to. I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, all the way up in Canada.
Very nice.
Yes.
So hands rubbed together menacingly. You are also a writer.
I am. Yes.
And I guess my first question has to start off with, how old were you when you discovered that you enjoyed writing?
Well, I was probably around 10 or 11 years old. I had gone through a rough patch in my life, and I was really into music. I played guitar. I loved music. I loved it. So I started writing songs, and I found so I found this great outlet for all my just going through that rough patch. I found a great outlet, and I just really enjoyed it and loved creating songs and loved being creative with it. I'd never had that outlet before, and even with music I found it wasn't enough, so writing gave me that extra oomph, as it were. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, and would you just do lyric and guitar, or was there other things that you would add to it as kind of self-therapy, or would you actually turn them into real songs?
Well, I tried to do a lot of guitar behind it, but it was actually mostly just writing. So it was mostly I would just put verse 1, chorus, and all that stuff, and I used to come up with chords and stuff, but I would forget how the song went the next day. So it was mostly just writing songs, and then by grade 8, I sort of transitioned into poetry because I'm my songs are just poetry. So that's how that happened. But yeah, so I was around 10, 11 years old.
Got you. So what would you say, with poetry, what is your favorite thing to write? Do you like to write about romance? Do you like to write about fantasy? Do you like to write about real life versus non-real life? What's kind of your favorite subsection?
I write so many different things. It's hard to choose. I kind of like going through the difference between reality and sort of fantasy kind of thing. I do like playing with that and writing about that. I do love a good love poem, though. Who doesn't? I love a good love poem. I love a good love poem. They're so much fun to write. Yeah, those are probably my two favorite. Yeah, and then sometimes when I'm just in a bad mood, I can get all that frustration out. So any poem like that is great.
That's the perfect way. I think I saw somewhere on Instagram where it said, and it was aimed toward writers, and it said, "Hey guys, you know what another benefit of making mistakes is? You can give those mistakes to your characters." I would say that's also true with frustrations. It's you write a character that's just completely raging and be like, "I wish I could do this."
Yep. You can put whatever on that page. It does not matter, but at least it gets it out there. It doesn't matter. So.
Well, I mean, the pen is more powerful than the sword. I mean, I guess it just kind of depends on whether or not you actually write down the frustrations or have your character swing a sword at somebody. I mean, you
Exactly.
I choose
Yeah.
the sword.
You choose the sword.
I do. You have to draw your weapon, which takes more time.
I mean, but do you guys really have a sword laying around?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, I do.
Okay,
Don't go unprepared.
So what would you say that you write most often then? What's the one that you generally go to when you just want to write something?
That's a very good question. That's a thinker right there. Recently it's been about like just change and like becoming who I am kind of stuff.
Right.
So it's mostly I'm trying to put it in like a category. But I do like, even if I write a poem about like the seasons and stuff, I always find change a very interesting topic for myself, and one that I most recently have been writing a lot of because my life has been changing so much even these past few months. So
Right.
so that's something I've been gravitating more towards and writing a lot more of.
Got you.
Yeah.
And would you say that a lot of it has been just kind of sparked by like recent events, or is it just like just what's going on in your life?
Kind of both. Like the pandemic definitely like derailed my final year of university. So it's like so that sort of changed. It's like I wanted to get a full-time job, but now I'm just stuck at my part-time job. Like, so, and then it's like other personal stuff that's happened through the summer. I recently became an aunt. My sister gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. So yeah, so it's been so many different things. My life's just been it's changing a lot. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So how many different works have you made then? If you have so many different ones that you write kind of when you like feel like it or when something happens.
Well, I guess starting from grade 8, I have about 4.5 notebooks filled. I don't have a specific number, but it's about 4.5 notebooks. About like yay thick.
Oh wow.
Since I was like 14. So it's a lot of poems. There's a lot of poems. There's a lot. And then that's not even stuff I've written on my laptop or anything like that.
Right.
So there's a lot. There's a lot.
I would say that a lot of times it's just kind of I would say that just because I'm the other side of the writing spectrum, it's kind of just what comes to your head initially.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I honestly don't know how many different stories I have floating around. I have a stack of notebooks and like books that sits on my bed. That's not even including what's on the shelf. It's just what's on the bed that I can't fit on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then there's the computer. So now I completely understand that.
Oh yeah. And I have like every time I go somewhere, I always look at the notebooks. I'm like, I don't need another notebook, but like, I kind of want to get another notebook.
Oh my god! Do you know how many notebooks I have, Irina?
Oh, that's a topic for another day. What would you say your favorite is then? Do you have a favorite? Do you have like a category that's your favorite?
For what? For
just poetry. Like, do you have a favorite that you like to write?
Well, I like just writing free verse. I'm not like a big fan of like very structured poems, although sometimes I get rhymey. Because that's where my music writing comes back in, and I just get rhymey sometimes.
Does it involve bacon?
No, I wish. Next poem. I'll put on the list. Bacon, I'll send it over.
Well, Tony's got it down right here, man.
Yeah. So I do like that, and like I love like romantic poetry. I really like sort of how just the topics they speak to and how they express themselves. Some people think it's like flowery and stuff, but I like the lyricism of it, as they say. But yeah,
it's almost like especially when you're writing romance, it's almost like a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's like the feeling, because it's like you can, I mean, especially with any kind of genre that you write, it is definitely, you put a feel to it. Like if it's something spooky, obviously the words are aimed towards something spooky. But if it is romance, there is a very, it's more of a feeling based happiness almost, especially when you talk about romance or even change. It's almost kind of like I don't know. There's a word I'm trying to think of that's not cultural, but it's almost like
bacon.
My train of thought's just completely gone.
Simon has a question.
Ooh, that's a really good question. I feel like I do have some. I do have like one of my idea books right beside me.
Show it off. Hands rub.
Right here. I feel like I do. I can't remember what it was, but I would like to write a comic book one day.
Right.
But I can't. I know I had an idea and I cannot remember it for the life of me.
I asked you what would it be about.
I know. I can't remember what the hell it was about.
Was it about a kitten named Charlie who
would
stomp across a keyboard?
No, but maybe now it will be. That was it. How did you know? Because like a lot of this is like script ideas for like short films and TV shows I want to write.
Ooh.
So it's stuffed in there somewhere. But yes, I would like to write a comic book one day. I do like sci-fi and fantasy books, so it'll probably be in that category if I were to write one.
It's probably a good thing she won that copy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. This is going to be the commission to the community now. Is
yeah, I know.
Publishing a poem about bacon and throwing out some comic book ideas.
Yeah.
How about a romance poem about bacon? What?
That would definitely.
I'm not exactly sure how that would go. I mean, it's like I love bacon. I love bacon so much. X what? No,
bacon. Will you marry me?
So how long does a piece generally take you? I mean, it's like, can you just jot it down all in one sitting, or does it sometimes come to you in spurts?
Mostly it's just in one sitting. I'll get like a line in my head or I'll get an idea and then I immediately just write it down and it comes out pretty quickly.
Right.
But I've had poems where it's like taken me a little longer to get through and to write through and to think about more. And then I find myself often like editing more. So I spend a lot more time editing than I do writing, like the initial thought. But I find it comes to me pretty quickly. And usually I would write something down and I would start to say the lines over again out loud. And I found that helps me. And I'm like, okay, what's sort of like the rhythm of this? And like kind of go through that. And so I write it pretty quickly, generally.
Right. I'm terrible at poetry. I could never write poetry. I wrote one sonnet once that got me like a flying colors grade in my like 8th grade English class. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay, I can live with this. Thanks.
That's enough. Yeah, I find like school ruins poetry a lot. And like a lot of people think like they have to be confined to like a pattern like AABB and all that stuff. That's why I like writing.
Terrible.
That's why I like writing free verse
Right.
like more because I find it just opens it up more. And I found like reading more poetry has helped me be better at poetry. But yeah. It's definitely not.
I follow you on Instagram because you have a separate Instagram for just your poetry.
I
right?
do. Yeah. I do.
And what is that link? Wink, wink, wink.
Poems.by.elizabeth.
Ooh, okay.
Check them out.
And they're amazing, and that's why I follow you.
Oh, thank you.
Read a lot of poetry just because you never know like what's going on in somebody else's head, and I
Yeah.
find that poetry is very reminiscent to music. It's like you have to, just piecing the lines together, to get the message, and it's just like kind of just like an eclectic way of telling a story.
Oh, totally. It's like each line has to sort of pack a punch of something.
Right.
It's very, there's a lot in a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's what makes a lot of it so powerful is, you could have something meaningful in just 2 lines.
Yeah.
I'm getting nudged. Okay, I'm going to move. It's time for the fire facts.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
All right. Where am I? I need the camera on.
You're on.
Hi. Okay. Welcome to BB 899's Fire Facts. Try not to stick my hand in the blade. Oh. Okay. Number 1 is that Elizabeth's favorite food is mashed potatoes. Which
With or without gravy?
I gotta say.
Without. I like it straight up. I do like it with gravy, but I'm a simple gal.
Plain is a lot better. Okay. Number 2 is that Elizabeth can touch her nose with her tongue.
Yep.
And number 3 is that Elizabeth's favorite place she's ever visited is Portugal. I'm going to go book a flight.
COVID. Yeet. Okay. What's up? We're back. We're rolling. Okay. And now, first of all, I just want to say that it's cool that you've been to Portugal.
Yeah.
Now that is because Portugal actually has a significant meaning to you, yes?
It does. Yes, it does. Both sides of my family are from Portugal. They're actually from the islands just off of Portugal called the Azores.
Oh wow.
So that's I'm very Portuguese. So when I was about 16, we got the chance to travel there, and we spent about like 10 days there, and it was just so like it's beautiful there. Recommend if you ever get the chance. It was so beautiful and gorgeous. If COVID ever ends, that should be top on your list.
Right. My next question would be for you then is with all of the poetry that you have written and all the pieces that you have created, have you ever thought about publishing any of them?
Yes, I have.
Ooh.
When I started my Instagram account, I think it was at the beginning of my university. So I tried to send out poems to like magazines and stuff, but I found I was getting like nowhere with that. And that's mainly why I started my Instagram account, just to do my own thing.
Right.
But I do hope to write a poetry book.
Oh,
so
okay.
That is on my list that I want to do and hopefully get to do.
Now, if you were to write a poetry book, would each one be a free-form poem, or would the whole book tell a collective story?
I want to try. I think it would work in both ways, where they kind of stand on their own, but they all sort of connect to a bigger meaning or to like the theme I want to get theme I want to get across. I do have a couple ideas. I always find myself starting and then stopping, so I don't know. I'll find that right mixture and make something happen.
It's just tying the ribbon together and making it. Well, exactly. And hey, I mean, I know that with this whole pandemic thing, I've had a lot of time on my hands. So I mean, it is just having, you know, it's the joy of creating it. And I think that, I mean, considering that you have those 4 notebooks full of stuff,
Yeah.
I think you're ready.
Yeah, there's a lot of materials. I have been actually, with all this time, I've been going through my old notebooks and like seeing if there's any gold nuggets in there. I've been avoiding my grade 8 one because I'm like, that's a whole different person. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she was writing about. So I've been avoiding it, but maybe I should look into it, see what she had to say.
Well, hey, I mean, at the very least, you can take, you know, a concept from the 8th grade notebook and redo it. I mean, there's always that.
Somebody's doing that on Wattpad right now.
Okay.
Have you heard of Wattpad, Elizabeth?
I have. Yes, I have.
Well, you know
I
what?
just discovered it like a month ago, and it was.
You can post your stuff on there for free and get a following, and then you'll be famous. It'll happen.
Yeah,
There you go.
sooner or later. It's the YouTube for authors. So
Let us know when
any
you're there.
authors
We'll follow
watching
you.
tonight.
All right.
So what would be your advice then for somebody who is looking to write, or people who like to write but don't know, like, you know, what they want to do? What do you find that you do when you're writing?
I find that I find that I tend to read a lot of what I want to write. So if like I've been wanting to write a lot of love poetry, I find myself reading a lot of love poetry.
Right.
And sort of looking for inspiration there. And I feel like for writing, it's good just to write, just to see where it goes. Just if you just start writing something down, maybe it makes more sense as a short story, or maybe it makes more sense as a poem or what have you. But I think just to write it, just to start it and see where that goes and takes you.
Right.
And just looking at the, like, just sort of self-reflecting, being like, what do I read normally? What do I enjoy? What do I not enjoy? Yeah, and kind of going from there.
Now, would you say, and this is honestly just a you opinion question, would you say that even if you start to write something and don't finish it, would you say that it was better to have started writing it at all, even if it doesn't become completed?
Oh, totally. Especially because you can always go back and revisit it as an idea to change later. But I also find I sometimes get ideas stuck in my head, and if I don't write them, then I can't write anything else. Right. So even if I don't, even if I don't finish it, or if I don't do anything with it, at least I've written it. I got it out of my head, and I can move on to the next thing.
Right.
And at least you're writing, which is my big thing. Like, as long as you're writing is always good. Writing is writing. So anything is good writing
too. I mean, if reading is good practice for, you know, learning new things, writing just to improve your own skill set is also good.
Yep.
Would you say that you have a specific, I mean, I guess when you're writing with poetry, would you say that there's a certain format, like a certain formula that you use? Like, is it you always use the same formula, or is it just kind of whatever comes to you is what you use?
Usually it happens in the same way. Like, I'll just get a line or two stuck in my head, and then I'll write that line or two, and then I'm like, okay, what was that about? And I'm like, okay, what is the answer to what the 1 or 2 lines I just wrote? So it kind of happens like that. It's just, but it changes per poem and per circumstance kind of thing. But I don't really have like a set guideline or set thing with it. You know, maybe I'll light a candle, put some good music on, and then I'll start writing. But
just a complete like sensory chamber, you know?
Exactly. Dim the lights, make it just a cave, and that's how I like to write.
Now, what do you find that you like to write poetry in third person, kind of just like the seasons change with, you know, XYZ, or do you like to put like a character into the poem set and use kind of like a mannequin to describe what is going on around them and make it centered around a character?
Well, I actually wrote a short piece of, it was a collection of poetry that I was going to try to make into a book, where I actually did use characters to personify and to kind of write. It was more of like a kind of like a longer, I guess it'd be called like an epic poem or a prose poem. I don't know. So I did actually use characters for that, and I found it a very interesting experience because it gave me greater distance with it, and it freed me up for writing a bit more.
Right, kind of almost like world building.
Yeah. But usually with my normal writing, I go between third person and first person. I just kind of, I see, like, it just depends on the poem I'm writing or the lines that come in my head. I do try to write every day. I do try.
Okay.
What flavor candle? I know I saw that one at some point.
Oh yeah. I can grab the candle. Hold on. It's oud wood and cardamom.
Oh.
This is the.
And it's been well
I've
used.
never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Be a Canada thing.
Maybe.
It might be. It's from Rexall. Could just
All
be.
right. Would you
Canada.
allow one of your stories to be made into a movie? Kurt Brown asks.
Yes, I would.
All right. And Simon
I would love that.
says.
Simon just completely throwing it off.
Love it. I love it. What would her name be? Well, my powers. I would love to like apparate places, like just like poof, be somewhere else. I would love. That would be awesome.
Like you'd be Kurt. You'd be
What's his name?
Oh yeah, Nightcrawler.
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 Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, that would be my powers.
Nightcrawler's the bomb.
I don't think I can use Nightcrawler as my name, but I don't know what my name would be.
Then you'd have to be German and a dude. Now when you wrote, so
yeah. Yeah, I have no clue what my name would be, but that's the powers I would want. That would be cool.
I mean, that would certainly make traveling so much more less expensive.
Exactly.
Canadian phaser or
I'm trying to think of more Canadian things.
Right.
Canadian geese release.
Oh, there you go. And it rhymes.
Yeah. But it's because like I have family who lives in the States, in Massachusetts. My sister's actually lives there. So I've spent all my life on 12-hour road trips. So the idea of being able to poof places has been like a need for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now I see where the love of music comes from, because I'm sure you just must have it blasting on the 12 hours.
Yep. You have my father blasting Meatloaf while we're trying to sleep in the back. Yeah. Yep. Good times. Good times.
Oh my God. Oh, super Captain Canada.
Yes. Yes.
There you go. I mean,
perfect.
I mean, I guess then the color scheme would have to come down to red and white, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
it has to be. That's a given.
And now, would you say that you like to write anywhere, or do you usually save it for when you come home and you sit down at your desk?
Usually when I come home and sit at my desk. But sometimes I get ideas. So I'll like type it into my phone. I'll be like, okay, I just need to type these lines and I'll get back to it later. Like, because especially for school, I commuted an hour for school. So sometimes ideas would pop into my head. So I just had to write them down. But I wouldn't really fully write something. No cape. But sometimes I would be in class and I love doodling my notebooks, and I would full on write a poem in my class during class instead of listening. But it's mostly I come home and I write.
Got you.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a weird experience out somewhere? Like, have you ever had a teacher like poke you and say, "What are you doing?" Or have you ever had just something completely random happen while you were out?
I don't think I've ran into teachers a lot throughout. Just I've seen teachers at the mall and stuff, but nothing weird like that. I can remember.
I remember I read like the entire Harry Potter series in 9th grade, and I would always have teachers just be like, "Bro," I'm like, "What? I'm done with class." Like,
literally, like there's just like funny moments that have happened in my class, like funny inappropriate moments that have happened, and just like there was in 10th grade, we were reading Catcher in the Rye.
Ooh.
And I was sitting next to like one of my closest friends, which is never a good idea in class. And so she was trying to talk about how Holden wanted to become friends with one of his like old boarding roommates, and his name was Richard, but they called him Dick in the book. So out of nowhere, our teacher was like, all Holden wanted to do was connect with Dick. And me and my friend burst out laughing. But we tried to hide it. Like we're like, and no one else in the class noticed what she said. It was just me and my friend paying attention. And like, so it's just inappropriate stuff like that that's happened. And like, it's bad. It's bad. That's yeah. But she like quickly went on. She quickly kept on talking before anyone could realize what she was saying. But yeah, that was.
It's just kind of the slip.
Yeah, just the way she phrased it. That's why the pen is stronger than a sword, because the way she phrased that, she could have phrased it better. Maybe me and my friend have a dirty mind. I don't know. It happens.
Here's another question for you. What is your favorite book and or poet?
Ooh, okay. I have both.
Right.
So my favorite book is The Outsiders. I was going through a period where there wasn't any books I really liked, and then I read The Outsiders in like 7th grade, and I was like completely drawn to it. I loved it. It got me back into reading, which is great. And then favorite poets, I have 2. I love Robert Frost and I love William Blake. Those are my 2 favorites.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I have heard of Frost. I don't think I've heard of him.
Frost?
Yeah. I don't think I've heard of him.
Robert Frost?
Yeah, he's also connected with The Outsiders. There's a connection there.
I live under a rock, okay?
Well, you don't follow poetry, so yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
you might follow Elizabeth on Instagram. Huh?
I do recommend Frost, though. He has a lot of great poems and a lot of popular poems. They're good.
I'm slightly questioning the Holden story now because Rob brought up apparently has seen it.
It was bound to get there. I'm sorry for making this inappropriate, but
no, it's not at all.
But favorite music artist on?
I love a lot of older singers. Otis Redding is one of my favorite singers.
Ooh, okay.
Love me some Otis Redding.
So you're saying Brandon Urie not so much?
No, not so much.
Oh! you know who he is, right?
Don't test me at 10:30 at night.
I'm testing you. He is the lead singer of Panic at the Disco.
We just have a mild obsession with Brandon
Panic
Urie.
at the
It's-
Disco.
it's-
Yeah.
Make
There's
you slightly
nothing-
obsessed. That's okay. That's all right.
I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm sorry, guys.
All right. Do you know who Steve Perry is?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Woo!
I was gonna say
There we
I
go.
can hop on with like Enya and Celine Dion and like.
A great Canadian artist.
Well,
That
yes,
is-
Celine
that is
Dion
true.
is, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we actually made it 5 minutes over. I didn't even realize we were past the half-hour mark.
There you go.
Well, I mean, there you go. Oh, yes. I guess.
Yes.
I'm so subtle.
Hey, this is what happens when I give you control of all the text. Yes, so everybody who follows Lawrence Everett on Facebook and Instagram, he's king of comicdom. His the new authors collection book Tales of Strange and Weird is going to be coming out soon, and the lovely Miss Elizabeth here just agreed to join the next issue.
And I want to know what happened. What ghost stuff happens in Canada, eh? I want to know.
There's a lot. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole, and there's a lot. There's a lot that's happened in Toronto. There's some crazy. There's a lot of like alien stuff. There's some ghost
she
stuff.
loves alien
The
stuff.
segment is gonna
Oh
be
my
very-
gosh,
yes.
yeah. Because we're in Colorado, in Colorado Springs, we have
Cheyenne Mountain,
Cheyenne Mountain,
which is a military air
naval
base.
base, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I
we
gotcha.
see jets fly over all the time.
Oh yeah.
But he loves that alien biz. So wow.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of alien stuff. There's some ghost stuff. There's like a Loch Ness monster stuff.
You have
There-
the Loch Ness monster in
Wait,
Canada?
back
No,
up.
This is okay. This isn't. I looked into Toronto because that was like the best thing to look, best place to look into. But in Lake Ontario, there is like a Loch Ness monster type creature. Apparently,
No way.
rumor has it. Rumor has
We
it.
didn't have to go all the way to like
Scotland for a Loch
We
Ness
could just go
monster.
Just visit me in Toronto.
Oh my! So, I mean, have you ever gone out there to purposely see something spooky, or is it just kind of been?
I want to know if she's ever seen a ghost.
Ooh.
Have you
I've-
ever seen a ghost?
I have not, unfortunately.
Oh, that makes me so sad for you.
I'm sorry, but it was funny when I went. Me and my friends took a road trip to Massachusetts to go to Salem, and we actually went to the Lizzie Borden house, and that was freaky.
Oh.
That was creepy.
Why?
Well,
The one that-
I know who she is, but why was it creepy?
it was just because it's such an old house, and they have like photographs of like the crime scene, and it's just like you just get an uneasy feeling. And in the top attic floors, they put creepy dolls up there just to scare you, like just to cause a commotion.
I mean, does
But it's
anyone actually have like those creepy ass dolls in their room? I mean, like, just
I have one.
Yeah.
your grandmother gave you one that had the box, and there's like, I mean, things. in front
Well,
of
no,
it,
I have that little not the collectible one from Grandma, but I have this itty bitty little one that's like super creepy.
Oh no, let's put it away. It was walking around your room. I got rid of it.
Oh,
I got rid of my creepy porcelain dolls. I had a few in my room, and then I turned a certain age. I'm like, nope, out of my room. Bye.
no.
Bye. But like I have a lot of older cousins, so they've always told me like ghost stories and like tried to scare me as a kid. So, but no, I haven't actually experienced any ghostly things.
Oh, but you will.
Yeah.
The scariest thing that I've had happen that I wasn't exactly sure what it was about. Well, two actually. Once I was in the school building, and everybody had always said, "Oh yeah, the school is haunted," and "Oh yeah, there's ghosts that go around here," because apparently the school was built on top of a barn that had been built on top of a cemetery that had been built on top of a morgue,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But I do remember there was one time where I was like walking back to class, or I was passing by, like it was like a bulletin board thing or something of the sort, and all of a sudden it was just and the whole thing shook.
Oh
And
my god.
it's like there's nothing on the opposite side of the wall, so it's like there's nothing like behind it
Yeah.
that caused it. And I was the only one there. It scared the crap out of me.
Oh my
No,
god.
I mean, we had to go.
Oh, we do. I was going there a second. We have a visitor at my house.
It's a young teen boy.
It's a boy. Mom has seen him.
I've seen him.
Oh
so
my god.
what happened to me was right before we
we remodeled our kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so it was right before we were about to remodel, and we had like a range microwave.
Yeah, and it's so
Okay.
reflective.
So I was cooking at the stove, and I looked in the microwave, and I saw Cade walk into the room, and he was wearing a white shirt and a pair of blue jeans, and I thought that was weird because Cade really
Doesn't
hates
like
blue
jeans. Yeah.
Huh.
And I turned around to talk to him, and there was no one there. And
Oh my
he
god.
was Cade's height, and I saw him just as clear as a bell. And I went upstairs, and Cade was in a completely different outfit, and he was doing something that had engrossed him. And yes, so we have a ghost, and it's creepy.
Oh my god.
Well,
What is it with you and
that,
ghosts?
She's got a connection. She's got a connection to the other side.
Well, I've heard voices.
Well, and I was gonna say,
if you want to share, you've had stories. Come
Yeah.
tell.
I was gonna say the one that me and my brother both experienced right around during the remodel was we had this old toy in our room. It was actually for anybody who knows Jim Boatwright, we had okayed.
Don't tell him that.
What? People will know what I'm referencing.
And then his kids will be scared.
It was this Care Bear, and I don't know why I had it for so long, but it ended up being good because we gave it to his kids.
Oh, okay.
But there was one night that me and my brother were both because we have bunk beds, and we were getting ready to go to bed, and it just starts going off. And what it does is it plays this song.
Yeah.
Now it's on the shelf, it's not touched, and you have to click a button to get it to go.
Paint your
Okay.
face and one like
So, and it just kept going over and over and over. And then finally, one of us said, "Knock it off," and it stopped for the rest of the night.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, guys. Jeez.
Go do it, Kate.
Go for it.
I'll try to make this quick since this one is a bit longer, so I'll just sum it up. But basically, my dog was asking me to go to the outside one night, and I was like, all right, let's go. So I bring him downstairs. He does his stuff. We're going back up the stairs. Right now, all of our cats basically sleep on the couch, right?
Okay.
And they say that cats are sensitive to paranormal stuff. So I'm walking up the stairs, and I feel like this weird tingle on my neck, like somebody's following me. So I mean, there's nothing there. And then I look at the couches, and all the cats are staring directly behind me. But that's not all. And then my dog, who was walking up the stairs calmly, is also looking behind me, and then whimpers and runs up the stairs. I'm like, nope.
Nope.
So
Lock the door.
Yeah, so I fast walked to our room, and at the time before I rearranged my bed, there was a shelf that blocked between me and the hallway. And I peek over the shelf, and some weird shadow thing with a bunch of arms just went into the other room, and I was like, nope.
Nope.
Not today.
So then he starts poking me, and I'm like, what? Go to bed.
I just saw a monster.
Oh,
So no, it's and what's weird is that we've never experienced and it's gone quiet. When the remodel was done, it's been quiet basically since.
You took it all out. It's all gone.
Yeah, and we didn't even know because we've lived in this house for 19 years.
The demons were in the microwave.
There's no demons.
Get rid of the microwave, you get rid of the infestation.
There you go.
But
it's funny. I was reminded of so when we were in Portugal, my cousins, my brother and my sister, we stayed at our great uncle's house for a night, and my sister and my 2 cousins were staying in one of the older rooms, and this room used to be a stable. So apparently during the night, the door like slammed right open.
Okay.
So my sister saw it, my 2 cousins saw it, and little me was fast asleep. My cousins and my sister were all talking. I did not wake up at all. I did not hear anything. I did not see anything. And then when I woke up, they were telling me all this. I'm like, what? Like,
What?
I didn't hear anything. I was sleeping like a baby. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, dude.
So
It's so weird, just some of the stuff that can happen. Well, because I guess when I was a baby, my mom and my dad lived in an apartment, and and nothing had ever happened. But when I was born, all of a sudden, all this stuff started happening. Apparently,
It's your fault.
It was my fault.
You
I
are the
literally can't say
supernatural
anything.
magnet.
I guess apparently the DVD player would open and close by itself. And I guess I had one of those one of those baby toys where it's like, you sit your baby in and they can press all the buttons.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess it would just go off constantly. And so even unplugging it and taking the batteries out of it wouldn't get it to shut up. It would still go off to the point where finally my mom had to get rid of it.
Jeez.
To this
Burn
day,
it. Just burn it.
It still goes off.
Right.
Oh god, jeez.
Sorry, Elizabeth. It's like almost 11 p.m. for you, and we're telling you all these things.
I'm gonna sleep like a baby tonight. I'll be fine. I'll watch some cartoons before I go to bed, and then hopefully I'll be
There you go. Yes, you'll be fine.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, we segue just a little bit. Thanks for everybody who enjoyed the slight spooky segue. Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on the show and for staying up late to come and interview with us. And we are super honored that this was your first live show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun. I love it. It's great.
I know we segued just a little bit, but I did warn you pre-show that may happen.
Yep.
So thank you to everybody who came. Elizabeth, thank you so much. And as always, we will see you all later.
Yeah.